Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel SQL Age, where we will learn SQL Server step by step. In this channel, I will guide you through the databases, queries, stored procedures, and real-time use cases that every IT professional should know. What is SQL Server, what is data, what is database, that all the concepts from very basics to the advanced knowledge we will learn in this YouTube channel. If you are a beginner, student, or a working professional looking to master the SQL Server, you are in the right place. Let's begin our journey into the SQL Server. In this channel, we are going to learn SQL Server step by step, starting from the very basics and moving towards advanced topics used in a real world project. SQL Server nowadays is one of the most widely used database system in industries like banking, e-commerce, healthcare, and IT services. Whether you are a student, a beginner, or even a professional looking to strengthen your database skills, this series will help you. So, subscribe to this channel to get the latest updates and the new updates in a field of IT industry and a SQL Server topics. In this very first session, we will start with the foundation understanding what is data, what is database, what is SQL Server, and how it is used in a real-time applications and websites. From the next video onwards, we will dive deeper into a SQL concepts like stored procedures, joins, functions, triggers, and much more to come. So let's dig into the next slide to understand what is mean by data. Nowadays, we know the world is like moving to the digital technologies. Everything in our daily routine life is now digitalized, and we are dealing with many softwares, many mobile applications, many websites to do our daily routine works. So, in fact, we are every day dealing with the data. You know what is mean by data, but in terms of IT world or in terms of technical keywords, you might be not aware of it if you are a very beginner. Okay, so let's understand what is mean by data. So data is nothing but a raw data or figures. We can say our daily things, what we measure like household applications, groceries, or any syllabus that we are learning during the colleges, that is nothing but the data. For example, if you are handling a customer's specific softwares, so the customer names, phone numbers is the data. If you are handling a banking softwares, the account numbers, the balances, the account details, those are all the examples of the data. So data becomes meaningful when it organized into a database. To understand how the organized database is look like or how the organized data looks like, we need to know what is meant by database. First thing, we write something on a word pad, so that is also a data, but that cannot be considered as a organized data. When a data is moved to a spreadsheet like Excel, a CSV format, or in a tabular format where we are having the data stored in a rows and a column formats, that data we call that as a organized data. So the next concept is the database. So what is a database? So it is nothing but a database is nothing but an organized collection of a data. As we know, a data is the information about something. It may be a school, and in the school we will be having the various examples of a data. Like in a school, there are various classes we will be having. In every classes, again there will be students. So student information, classes information, subject information. This will be a different parts of a data we can call. So when a data is stored in an organized manner, we call that as a tabular data or organized data. So if the data is collected in an organized manner, that organized data will be stored in some places. For example, we store the data in a books, we store the data in a memory card, we store the data in a spreadsheet. Okay, so that all is called as a database where the data is actually stored. Okay, so in this SQL Server terminologies, database is organized collection of a data, that is what we can call. So what this database will do? Let's look at an example. I have this cheap or have this example of a file. So basically in a SQL server or in a IT industry, the data will not be stored in files or in notebooks or in spreadsheets. So data is collected in such a way that okay, it can be quickly accessible by the programming language. Okay, so basically the collection of information organized in a such a way that okay, so we can or a computer program can quickly select the desired piece of data, the required data. So we can call a database is an electronic filing system where we can store, manage, or retrieve the data very efficiently. For example of the databases, banking system, storing account details, transactions, etc. Then we have the e-commerce websites such as Amazon, Flipkart. So they are also having their own database where they store the order details, the customer details, the login information, product information, each and every small details that is happening on their website. Okay, so hope you have understood the concept of data and the database. These are very small concepts that we are using our day-to-day life, but we don't know in a technical terms. So that is what we are trying to understand with a simple examples. Okay, so let's revise it once again. Data is something that is the information about some the information about something that is what we called as a data, like customer details, order details, account details in the banking sector, then student details in the schools, hospitals like patient details. Those are all we call as a data. And wherever this data is stored, that storage is called as a database, right? So let's now focus on what is mean by SQL Server. We are talking here, this channel is specifically created for understanding the SQL Server from very basic to the advanced concepts. So let's move what is mean by SQL Server. We are saying like the data is stored in a database. So SQL Server is one kind of a database. Okay, so there are many kind of databases we are having. For an example, if you are storing the data, if you are storing the images in one of the pen drive, so there will be a different kinds of pen drive you will be having. One is a SanDisk, another is like Intel. So there are many companies that are providing you a pen drive where we can store your data. So same way in the technology or in the technical terms, there are different kinds of databases available in the market. SQL Server is one of the database that is created by the Microsoft. Okay, and this is among the many databases in the world. One of the most popular is Microsoft SQL Server. So SQL Server is a relational database management system. In short, we call that as a RDBMS. What is a relational database management system? So relational database management system is nothing but the data will be related to each other. For an example, if we are talking about the e-commerce sections like a website of Amazon, where we know there will be a customer details, there will be the order details, there will be a refund details as well. So all these data is related to each other. And when the data is stored in a such a way that we can relate the data with each other, like customers can be related to the orders, orders can be related to the refunds, refunds again can be related to the customers back. So data here is related with each other. That is what we call as a relational data. And the data which is stored in the database, which is a relational data, and that data is manageable by some server or by some database, that is what we call as a relational database management system. That simply means it stores the data in a tables and rows and columns. Just like an Excel spreadsheet, we have the rows and columns. The data will be stored in a tabular format. Okay, but along with the tabular data, there will be much more we can do using the SQL Server. Okay, so with a SQL Server, we can create the databases, we can insert and retrieve the data into the tables, we can write a complex queries in short we call queries, but when that queries are converted to the meaningful long queries, that is a programs also we can call. So using the SQL server we can retrieve the data, we can insert the data, we can write a complex query using a SQL language, which stands for structured query language. So the SQL server is a widely used in a variety of industries like banking, e-commerce, healthcare, ERP system, human resource management, and almost every business that deals with the data. And we know how the data is important in nowadays, right? Let's understand some real-time applications, real-time use cases of the SQL server. So the SQL server can be connected to the many websites or almost every website and application that store the data in SQL server. For an example, you have created a sample Google form. That is also something you are collecting the information. You share the Google form to some users. They will fill the details that you are asking in that form and you ask them to submit that form. So whenever the form is submitted, the data filled by the user will be stored in some tabular format in some database. For example, e-commerce app also we are having, which will store the products data, customer data, and orders data. There are banking softwares which stores the account details, transactions, loans, credit card details. Again, there are multiple things, debit card details or billing details. Everything related to the banking can be stored in that banking software. There are hospital systems we'll be having which will store the patient, doctors, and treatments information, where we can submit the claims, we can track the claim details, and each and every small details that we can do online. So this all will be managed by the SQL server. So what actually will happen, whatever the applications, whatever the websites we are using, that will interact with the SQL server via the queries and the stored procedures. Though the end user, the customers will not be able to say any program or any queries that are running behind their submit button, they are behind their uh, tracking of the claims or anything. But in fact, in the back end, there will be some queries, some stored procedures that will be running to interact the application and the SQL Server database. Okay, then this is what we all have for the first session. This is just an introduction. We have learned about the data, the databases, the SQL Server. Okay, we have learned about the basic SQL and the databases. Okay, then if you want, I can let you know like how SQL Server can be installed, how to set up the SQL Server to use. Okay, then we will move forward with the tables, queries, joins, stored procedures, functions, triggers, indexing, and performance tuning. Those are the most advanced concepts we are having that we are going to learn in this channel. So comment below on this video and let me know the next video that you want to know about or that you want to learn about. In sooner time, I will be creating a separate video series that will be explaining you the SQL Server from very basics to the advanced. In that video, I will be going to explain from SQL Server installation to the mastering SQL Server in each and every aspects. We will see some projects as well with real-time scenarios and real-time examples. So subscribe to my YouTube channel and wait for daily updates. You can refer this channel to your friends, colleagues, everyone who who are eager to learn about the SQL Server technology and who wanted to join these IT sections. Thank you all. So in this video, we understood the fundamentals, what is data, what is database, what is SQL Server, and how it is integrated with the real-time application. In the next video, we will start one of the most important concepts, that is as per the need of the users. Maybe it may be a stored procedure, it may be a function, it may be a trigger, or it may be any advanced topics. If you have enjoyed this session, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss upcoming tutorials. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.